I'm Trip Clark.
And I'm Tom Lang, and this is the Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix edition of Open Throttle 360.
Welcome back to Open Throttle 360. Tom, this is the special edition celebrating the Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix, a marquee event in Pittsburgh, but also globally as well.
Well, people come from all over to attend this event. There's 10 days of racing, car shows, car cruises, social events. They all benefit charity, and it's high on the calendar for a lot of motorsports fans.
Yeah, it's a great event, and it's the last Vintage Grand Prix that's still run on city streets. And if you don't know about it, you should. Every summer for more than 3 decades, the Pittsburgh area comes alive with the roar of RPMs and wide-open throttles when racers and car enthusiasts from all over the region and the world flock here for 10 days of car shows and some of the best vintage car racing in the country. The Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix holds the distinction of being the longest continually running vintage road race in the nation and the only one run on city streets. The dream of a few people back in 1982 has evolved in one of the great Vintage Grand Prix events in the world, where now hundreds of thousands of fans take in this world-class racing event. What sets the Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix apart even more is that all the proceeds are raised in order to help provide residential care, treatment, and support for developmentally disabled individuals in the Pittsburgh region. So far, over $3 million has been raised for the Autism Society of Pittsburgh and Allegheny Valley School, a great event which helps even a greater cause. One of the highlights for the fans at the Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix are the charity rides, where a race fan can get a chance to ride around the course in a high-speed vehicle, a Porsche, a BMW, or even one of these bad boys. Among the fun and charitable events that are now part of the fabric of the Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix are the charity rides that were originally started as Candy's Ride back in 2006. Fans get a rare chance to ride around the track in the race car of their choice, be it a Ford GT40, a Porsche, MG, BMW, or any one of the vintage race cars in queue to take someone for the thrill of their lives. And in the spirit of the Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix, it's all in the pursuit of fun and all in the name of raising money for charity.
I would tell people that this is a great thing to do and it's great for charity and that you should definitely enjoy it.
The candy rides are drivers donate their car and their gas and their time, and you pay for charity and you get to take one lap or two, pick your car, or just go in whatever comes around.
Just came out of the Candy's car ride. There's great charity. It's fun, total blast. Got in the car. The guy says, wave me off if we're going too fast. I said, no way, we're going.
Actually, I rode in the GT3, which I've got a Boxster, but the difference between that GT3 and my Boxster is like a Chevy Vega compared to a real car. I'll tell you, it is incredible. Jack is a terrific driver, and he just grins from start to finish.
I've gone fast, but I'm thinking this is probably the fastest.
I rode in the cars last year, but I was just in a Mustang and it didn't go nearly as fast as that Porsche did.
I was a little nervous about going that fast, but I trusted him. I knew he was probably one of the best drivers I've rode with. So
This is not my first time doing this, so no, I was not scared.
Not scared, just a little bit scared, yes.
I really enjoyed it. It was probably the fastest I've been. Truly exhilarating. The speed and also the G-forces in the corners, crazy.
I would absolutely recommend this. I brought my sons for the first time this year and they loved it.
I would do that again in a heartbeat. That was a phenomenal time, absolutely.
Definitely worth the money.
That was awesome, thank you.
You're welcome, you're welcome. The first weekend of racing in the Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix takes place at Pittsburgh International Race Complex. Here's a look at some of that action. We're at Pittsburgh International Race Complex for the preliminary events of the Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix.
There's so many vintages of cars. Of course, I'm a little biased toward the Porsches, but seeing everybody race together, it's like what I saw when I was a kid growing up.
They won't let us race down in the park because they're afraid they'll find us at the bottom of some ravine down there. So we're limited to taking these high horsepower cars out here, and we've been here every year. It's our favorite event, I think, of every season. We never cease to be amazed.
Power the elements with Rain Eater all-season wiper blades. Experience the distinct performance advantages of our full line of aerodynamic frameless and full-feature traditional wiper blades. Proven quality and patented innovations continue to build our distinct brand and exceed customers' expectations. Low-profile design, clean, quiet wiper action, and all-in-one adapter. Rain Eater wiper blades, the best wiper blade in the world.
Sounds every man loves to hear.
Ooh, nice hair.
Text Super PGH to 667-788 for special offers from Supercuts.
We're at the headquarters of Zappo Racing, and you always hear us say the racing is a family sport, and indeed it is. We had a chance to talk with Michael and Chris Zappa out at Pit Race.
We're at Pit Race for the Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix preliminary races. Joining me now is Mike and Christopher Zappa. Tell us a little bit about your race car.
Well, the race car we have here this weekend, Chris is driving. It's a TVR Tuscan 69, 3-liter car that it's taken us probably 3 years to get it to go as fast as it's going. He did a great job today. He finished second in his race, and he got down to a minute 5, which is really great time around this track. So I give him accolades for the way he drove the car. But hard work. I mean, that's all Chris and I have put into the car is nothing but hard work. This is just one of 3 different cars that we have. At Shenley next week, I'll be in a 62 MGB. And at the big tracks, we race a Ford GT40.
Chris, how long have you been driving race cars?
Probably since I've been about 15.
And how old are you now?
29.
What kind of success have you had behind the wheel of a race car?
Everywhere from not finishing and blowing up and wrecking to podium finishes, so everywhere in between there.
Of all the race cars you've driven, which was your favorite?
Probably the TVR. I ran the MG down at Summit Point, and that was actually a whole lot of fun, but I'd say the TVR that I drive here is probably the most fun that I've driven.
Michael, what's your favorite car? Race car or street car? What's your favorite?
Well, probably my favorite race cars was my Chevron B16 that we had a lot of success with. We had a lot of wins, a lot of podium finishes with it. My Lola T212 was pretty good, but now I'm in the Ford GT, and I like it a lot. But probably the most fun for the drive is the MGB. I mean, I have a blast at Shenley, and I have a blast when I drive it at Summit Point. I bring it out probably twice a year. We win usually in the car. It's that quick. It has nothing to do with the driver. It's all the car. I can tell you that right now. But I have a lot of fun in both of those cars. But the Ford GT is, you know, you're driving a piece of race history, you know, and I mean everything from Le Mans to Watkins Glen to Mid-Ohio. It's just a great, fun car to drive, and it's very fast.
Christopher, is there a car out there that you haven't driven yet that is maybe a dream car for you?
Probably those new supercars, things like the McLaren MP12 4C, some of the new Ferrari F458s.
They're pretty high-end cars.
Oh yeah, yeah, they're $500,000 cars and up. So I probably don't plan on driving them anytime soon, but if I do, I'll jump at the opportunity.
What does your racing future hold for you?
As long as I keep paying my own way, I guess I can kind of make my own path. But I'm kind of beyond the whole sponsorship era and kind of beyond making it pro. So now it's just me paying.
Well, I'd like to thank both of you for taking the time to talk to us, and hope you enjoy your time here at the Pit Race and next weekend at Shenley.
All right, thanks.
In the middle of all this vintage Grand Prix action, we don't want to forget about the dirt racers. We had a chance to talk to Chad Ruhlman at Sharon Speedway. We're at Sharon Speedway for the Bill Emig Memorial Race featuring the Sweeney Chevrolet Buick GMC Rush Late Model Series. With me now is Chad Ruhlman. You've had a lot of success in other kind of dirt cars. Tell us a little bit about that.
We've driven about everything there is to drive on dirt. We ran Eldora for about 8 years, won 3 championships out there in an E-Mod, owned my own team. This is my 20th year, and we just decided to go to Crate to try the next step.
What made you pick the Rush Crate series?
We did the fast track stuff last year and wanted to stay loyal to Vicky. You know, I liked what she and her crew had going on, and so we decided to follow her series this year.
With your experience in all these different kinds of dirt racing, Can you give us some comparison of the level of competition between, say, open late models and the crate late models?
There's a lot of depth of competition in this series. There's also a lot of young guys that have rich parents or however it may be, that or they couldn't race, so they're trying to get their kids into it, and those guys are kind of a thorn in your side. But for the most part, the level of competition, especially at a touring event, is pretty high. There's probably 15 guys here that can win.
Now, with all your experience, when you're out on the track and you're trying to get around one of the younger guys, does your experience pay off in that situation?
Sometimes it does. Sometimes it gets you in trouble because everybody's so close motor-wise. In an open car, you can make and lose ground so quick, where these, you can't. So even the guys with inexperience can stay fast and can stay in the way.
It seems like it has a different purpose for different racers. A guy with your experience, it seems like you've settled into this as this is something you want to stay in.
Yeah, that's like I said, with the time that I can dedicate to it and the expense, this is all I can do right now on a touring level.
Well, with the regional aspect of the Rush Series, it appears to me that also cuts down on the travel costs because you're not all over the country.
Right, we're going to keep it in about a 4-state area. It does save on fuel costs. And Vicky's done a good job this year. We're at Sharon for 2 days. We're at Hagerstown, Cumberland, and then Roaring Knob, which are really close to one another. So we can race, a weekend without traveling very far and hit 2 or 3 big shows.
It appears they've put a lot of thought into how they arrange this schedule.
Yeah, Vicky's not a dummy by any means. She knows what she's doing, and she's looking out for the racer.
Well, we wish you a lot of luck in your chase for the championship in the Sweeney Rush Series, and hope your season turns out the way you want it to.
Thank you very much.
I live in Cranberry now, and I still come back to Kalmar Motor Sales because I feel that they give me the best deal on the vehicles that I'm interested in. They also have the absolute best service. Every time I walk in and out of that dealer, I feel I've made the best choice possible. So they go the extra mile for me, so I always go the extra mile for them.
There is a stigma attached to car shopping. People don't like to go to dealerships. They're afraid they're going to be pressured, trying to avoid the salespeople. That's just not the vibe you get here. It should be an enjoyable experience. You want to come in, you just want to relax, you look at the cars. At Kalmar's, that's what you're going to get.
The best tires, parts, and service. Tire Town.
We're at Sharon Speedway for night 2 of the big Bill Emig Memorial Race, featuring 2 races and 2 nights for the Sweeney Chevrolet Buick GMC Rush Late Model Series. With me now is the driver of the number 21, Matt Latta. This car here is a partnership between you and your brother?
Yeah, this car is owned by the entire Latta family. My mom, dad, brother, myself. We all pitched in on this car.
Now, this isn't the only car you drive, though.
Correct. I also drive the number B1D owned by Meadville resident Scott Bidwell.
Now, you said you've been with Bidwell for 12 years, so you were a mechanic on that car?
Yeah. We've been crewed for Jim France at the beginning, Matt Lux, Bobby Powell. We had a little split up in 2009, 2008. I went out west with the World Outlaw Late Models, crewed for Daryl Lanigan in 2009. Come back, and Scott asked us back. I think it was late 2010. We started crewing for him again. I ended up getting this car in 2011. Started driving myself, and we also, we had the Bidwell car in our garage again during that. So we had, both cars, still working on them both. John Volpe was driving in 2011 in the B1D. Of course, I was driving the 21. And then when John was, he went to college in West Virginia, and Scott asked me to drive, and we worked it out. His sponsors are mine, my sponsors are his sponsors are his, my sponsors are mine, and I strap on the helmet and get in his car now.
Now, with all this racing that you have under your belt, you're still not even 21 years old.
No, 21 will come here June 19th.
Now, that makes you a young man as far as racing goes, but in the Rush Late Model Series, 21's not young. There's some real young guys in this class.
Seems to be the median age for this Rush Series, yeah.
Well, median meaning there's a lot of young guys and a lot of old guys.
Yeah, a lot of young guys. There's a lot of 16, 17, 18-year-olds in here. Even I think we've got a 12-year-old, I believe.
Yes.
And then we're racing 30, 40, 50-year-olds too. So it's a wide range.
So where do you see your racing career going from here?
I want it to go as far as I can get it. I'm not going to stop here and just call this good. We're going to try the hardest. Hopefully, we can get the sponsorship backing. I'd like to make racing a career. I'd like to, whether I do World Outlaws, travel the country, or someday we can get into NASCAR. I'm not going to complain about that at all. That's the biggest goal is NASCAR. But we'll take it one step at a time.
Well, what is this? A Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix circa 1998. When the drivers aren't hugging the wheels on the weekends, the Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix offers a lot of opportunities during the week to enjoy the more social aspects of racing. The Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix is a lot more than 2 weekends of great racing. Packed in between is a week of parties, car shows, parades, cruises, and cocktails. The week-long festivities bridge the racing weekends and give participants and fans different venues to take in the sights and sounds of the event from downtown and Walnut Street to the waterfront and Squirrel Hill. Every year since its humble beginnings, the Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix shatters attendance records and continues to build on its legacy of providing world-class racing entertainment and helping disabled individuals in the region.
Feel the rush and witness some of the region's most exciting wheel-to-wheel racing action as the Sweeney Chevrolet Buick GMC Rush Dirt Late Model Series races to a speedway near you. Witness some of the nation's finest up-and-coming young drivers battle each other all summer long. Pittsburgh, Sharon, McKean County, The Rock, Roaring Knob, Allegheny Mountain, and Bradford Speedway. Bring the family and introduce your kids to our phenomenal group of racers. It's a new generation full of new young heroes. Check us out at rushracingseries.com and feel the rush. If you're looking for parts for your car, truck, or van, you gotta come to Millerstown Pick a Part. We have the area's best selection of parts and we let you pick it yourself. We offer the lowest prices around, or if you'd prefer, we'll find the part for you. Millerstown Pick a Part. Parts for newer cars, classic cars, foreign cars, trucks, and vans. Located in Torrena, Millerstown Pick a Part is right up Route 28 from downtown Pittsburgh. Millerstown Pick a Part, 724-224-4777 or online at pickapartyard.com.
The 10 days of events of the Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix climax with the action on the 2.3-mile road course at Shenley Park.
The highlights of the event are the races that take place on the 2.33-mile track in Shenley Park, as well as the car show that's set up throughout the Shenley Park area. Around the track, more than 150 cars will participate and some will reach speeds near 80 miles per hour, winding their way through the turns and bridges to the finish line. Across the rolling hills, more than 2,000 beauties will be on display within the International Car Show on the golf course. The pageant of cars covers the spectrum of car lovers from the early 1900s to present day. MGs, Aston Martins, Mercedes, Lincolns, Mustangs, Porsches, Triumphs, and all cars in between. Like many of the events throughout the days leading up to the Shenley races, the Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix is more than about racing and competition. It's about celebrating tradition, friends, and family, all in the name of helping others.
As in other forms of motorsports, a lot of the cars in the Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix carry GoPro cameras. If you've got any GoPro footage and would like to be part of the show, go to OpenThrottle360.com, follow the link to upload your footage. Let's GoPro now. Trip, a 30-minute show. We barely scratched the surface of all the action in the Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix.
We did, but it was a great event this year and already looking forward to it next year as well. And of course, want to thank Mike and Chris Zappa, Zappa Racing, letting us set up shop today in their shop. My little tribute to Mike Zappa here. As always, if you have any comments or suggestions for us, send us an email at info@OpenThrottle360.com. Like us on Facebook.
Follow us on Twitter.
And we'll see you next time.